air conditioners, household items, construction materials and furniture arrived in North Al-Batna Governorate from Dhofar Governorate. The convoy cut a distance of 1,200 kilometers, which represents the sense of solidarity, unity and togetherness among Omanis. The main military committee for emergency management at the Sultan's Armed Forces continues to hold its meetings at Muaskar al-Muqtafa to follow up with the roles of the national duties undertaken by Sultan's Armed Forces and other departments at the Ministry of Defense to deal with the impact of the tropical cyclone Shaheen. The committee in its meeting recommended continuation to implement plans and fieldworks through sub-military committees in the governorates of North and South Al-Batna. It also urged armed forces units to exert double efforts to accelerate work pace to restore services and thus bring life to normal situation. The meeting was chaired by Brigadier Abdulaziz bin Abdullah Al-Mandhi, Assistant Chief of Staff for Sultan's Armed Forces for Operations and Planning, head of the Military Committee for Emergency Management. The Royal Air Force of Oman continues its efforts to deal with the impacts of the tropical cyclone Shaheen in the governorates of North and South Batna. RAFA continued removing waste from the public places and a number of government schools and the affected houses. Within the framework of the recovery efforts from the tropical condition Shaheen and according to the general plan of the main military committee for emergency management and their two sub-committees in the governorate of North and South Al-Batna, Royal Navy of Oman continued removing waste from the public places and number of government schools and the affected houses. Within the plan of the main military committees for emergency management in the governorate of North and South Al-Batna, the electrical technicians of the engineering services of the Ministry of Defense continue supporting electricity sector in cooperation with Mazoon Electricity Company to check the electrical panels of the affected houses in the North Al-Batna Governorate. In order to preserve environment's health from the danger of pollution and the spread of diseases and epidemics in the areas affected by the tropical situation, the medical services of the Sultan's Armed Forces spray citizens' homes and water ponds with vector control materials such as insecticides and others, and follow up on all water gathering sites in order to ensure the safety of public health in accordance with the general plan of the main military committee for emergency management. To the Common News Bulletin. The Dubai Expo 2020's week theme, Climate and Biodiversity, focuses on sustainable development. On the occasion of the Prophet's birth anniversary, peace be upon him, it has been decided that Tuesday 12th Rabi al-Awwal 1443 Hijrah, corresponding to 19th of October 2021, will be an official leave for employees of the units in the state's administration apparatus and other legal entities and those working in private sector establishments. The decision allows the employers and employees to agree on compensation or compensating this leave if necessary arises to work during the leave. On this blessed occasion, the employees of the private sector and public sectors forward to His Majesty Sultan Haitham bin Tariq best wishes and greetings, praying to Almighty Allah to protect His Majesty and bless him with good health, happiness and long life, and to return this and similar occasions for many years to come on His Majesty, the Omani people and our beloved country with more progress and prosperity under His Majesty's wise leadership, and for all Muslims with good omen and welfare. The Ministry of Health launched today a virtual clinic project in the primary health care. The idea of the virtual clinic was brought since the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020, where the service of the telehealth consultations was introduced on March 2020 as a means for communicating with patients and delivering health services. In the same year, in October, each health institution was acquired with a telephone line for service delivery, and the number was publicized for respective local community. The project targets patients, particularly those with non-communication or communicable diseases. The virtual clinic is considered one of the alternatives deployed amid the spread of the pandemic, consequently minimizing visits to the health institutions to ensure safety of patients and health workers. To reinforce the sewage system in a number of wilayas of the Sultanate, the Oman Water and Wastewater Services Company has signed the project of constructing sewage and treated water connections for various facilities and schemes. More details in the following report.
The Omani Water and Wastewater Service Company has signed the project of constructing sewage connections and treated water connections for governmental, residential and commercial facilities and a number of airport heights schemes. The total cost of the project is 11.4 million Omani riyals, and the project is expected to be completed within 24 months. Regarding the project, Qais bin Saud Al Zakwani, CEO of the Oman Water and Wastewater Services Company, said that the project will connect 87 governmental, residential and commercial facilities to receive approximately 21,400 cubic meters per day of sewage from these connected units.
We are very pleased to sign this agreement, which we consider is a very important milestone for the new company. This will be providing an expansion of our current networks in Seep and the airport heights, not only for wastewater treatment but also for the utilization of treated effluent. And we are pleased to sign this agreement, and the work has already commenced, and we are hoping that with this agreement will be part of a bigger plan that the company has in the future.
On strengthening the sewage system in the Wilayat of Seep, Zakwani said that the company is in the process of strengthening the system in the Wilayat by establishing and expanding networks and sewage treatment plants in 3 phases to cover some areas of Al Quoud and Muscat International Airport, in addition to linking the Oman Botanical Gardens with the sewage network system. The CEO confirmed that the company is continuing to expand its water and sewage networks and achieve high operational efficiency for water and sewage systems in the various governorates of the Sultanate that are covered by the company's services.
The Public Establishment for Industrial Estates Madain signed an agreement to establish a photovoltaic solar power plant with a capacity of up to 100 megawatts on Sohar Industrial City to be operated by next year, with a total investment of 300 million Omani riyals. The agreement aims to provide a large part of the energy needs of investors from sustainable source of renewable energy, in addition to contributing to reducing the carbon footprint of industrial sector in the Sultanate. Now for some international news, China today pledged $230 million to establish a fund to protect biodiversity in developing countries. President Xi Jinping, speaking by video to a UN conference in the southwest Chinese city of Kunming, called on other countries to contribute to the coming Biodiversity Fund. The conference, the UN chief had this to say.
An ambitious and effective post-2020 global biodiversity framework with clear targets and benchmarks can put nature and people back on track. This framework should work in synergy with the Paris Agreement on climate change and other multilateral agreements on forests, desertification and oceans. COP15 is our chance to call a ceasefire. Together with COP26 on climate, it should lay the foundations for a permanent peace agreement. By 2030, we must reverse our trajectory and start to build the world we want.
The first theme week of the Expo 2020, Dubai Climate and Biodiversity, focused on sustainable development. Expo 2020 Dubai is among the first large-scale global events held after the COVID-19 outbreak. It's also the first World Expo held in the Middle East, expected to attract 25 million visitors.
The Sustainability Pavilion has a unique and innovative design concept that highlights the efficient use of renewable energy of the Expo. Named The Earth, the pavilion not only looks futuristic in its design, but also seeks to explore the road to sustainable development by making it energy self-sufficient. Taking advantage of the desert country's sunny and humid climate, the pavilion collects solar energy from a roof of photovoltaic panels and draws fresh water from the air in funnels around the pavilion.
Now, these energy trees, which you can see behind me, are more like sunflowers, in fact, in that the head of the sunflower turns to face the sun over the course of the day. And that allows us to capture the energy of the sun. And together, those photovoltaics generate 4 gigawatt hours of electricity every year, which is exactly what we require to operate. In terms of water, we have 6 different systems throughout this building, each of which work incredibly hard to capture as much water as we can and hold it within the building for as long as we can.
In addition, the pavilion displays the impact of human waste and excessive consumption on the natural environments such as the ocean and the forest through entertainment devices like video and quiz games to encourage people to rethink their lifestyles. Meanwhile, visitors to Expo 2020 Dubai can take refuge at the Singapore Pavilion's mini rainforest amid the soaring temperatures of the United Arab Emirates. With 80,000 plants from 170 different species, the multi-layered structure is a green oasis amid the arid desert climate. A self-sufficient ecosystem, the hanging gardens and vertical plant walls help keep temperatures down, aided by a robot prototype designed to monitor humidity levels and plant health.
We use the sun energy to then power the desalination to draw up groundwater from within the pavilion. The water is then used back to irrigate the plants and to meet the needs of the operations.
Singapore is among almost 200 exhibitors at Expo 2020 Dubai, where organizers have made sustainability a key focus of the fair, which was built in what was once desert. The Netherlands pavilion is also almost entirely self-sustaining, using Dutch technologies to showcase a circular system that harvests water and energy and produces food in a vertical farm.
It's good to see that we are proud, as proud Dutch guys, that we produce a lot of food and we export it to the rest of the world. But we like to also showcase that you can do it yourself as well. So we create a biotope here to showcase to the rest of the world, harvest your own water, produce your own food, get your own energy, so it's a closed circle.
The farm is growing 9,500 edible plants and crops, including the mushrooms, which have even been used to create the pavilion's floor tiles. The pavilion extracts between 1,000 to 2,000 liters of water per day from the air, while its rooftop solar panels, transparent to allow light to come into the structure, cover more than 40% of its electricity needs.
This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. While presiding over the Council of Ministers meeting, His Majesty the Sultan confirmed that he follows up the measures taken to deal with the tropical situation and directs all sectors of the state to coordinate between them. His Majesty the Sultan stresses the importance of finding mechanisms and communication channels with the youth and the need for the integration of all state institutions in the matter of environment and directs all sectors of the state to cooperate to maintain financial stability and the continuation of development paths in all fields. And His Majesty stresses the importance of the government bodies concerned in promoting understanding, convergence of viewpoints and helping the region to enjoy harmony and peace. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us in the newsroom and the studios, good night.